So I was wanting to talk to you about the vibrational impact of micromanagement. And I find that when we go into a work organization where people feel that they're not trusted or they're not given autonomy over their work, what tends to happen is that the vibrational elements of our emotions kind of then give off this really negative vibe. So you know what I mean when you walk into a room and you feel like you could cut the air with a knife because people just had an argument about something and you kind of think, ew, I just want to get out of there. So in my recent book, The Trouble with Trauma, I talk about how emotions vibrate. And in a workplace, you notice that when you walk into a space and it feels like the energy is really low and it's quite heavy, often people will also talk about feeling quite despondent, like they don't really have a sense of autonomy over what they're doing and they don't feel like they're trusted to get on with the job. And this is where micromanagement really becomes a big part of the problem. Now we've got two issues, right? Micromanagement tends to come about because people get controlling about the things that they want to have happening in the workplace because they feel that they're being let down by the people around them. And this can be for a whole range of reasons. Some people just naturally kind of tend to cope that way by micromanaging people. But when we do that, when we're taking control for our outcomes, and so then we're trying to impose on other people, and we tend to then go right over the top of them and make sure that they're doing every little thing. What happens is they stop doing anything, and it causes a much bigger problem. And it's a better kind of awareness point where if you can sort of see that you're getting frustrated and you feel like you're giving people things to do and they're not actually doing anything, we have to kind of stop, reset, and then think about what it is about the communication that's not getting through. Because people just feel like what they're doing is not good enough, or it's not, they're letting people down, but then by the same token, they don't tend to understand what it is that's required of them. So we have to change the communication pathway and kind of like almost come right back to the beginning and do a bit of a reset. And sometimes that needs an independent third party to do that. And it can just be a little bit of a look at, well, what's happening here, and hearing what it is that people are saying in between, well, I've asked people to do blah, 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 and it's not happening. And on the other end, but we're not being given the autonomy. And there's a communication variation in there that is about perception. And sometimes we just need to kind of stop and think, okay, so let me understand just to begin with one element. And it helps to then work out what the process is that's breaking down in the communication between the two. And then looking at, well, how do we structure it so that both parties are getting what they need, and it helps to rebuild trust in the relationship between them. All right, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Sometimes if you're finding you're frustrated with people that you're working with, then try and look to bring in a third party. If there's an internal coach within the organisation, that's usually a good place to start. Just an independent third party that can kind of just listen and see both sides. It really does tend to make a difference and help reset. All right, see you soon.